I shouldn't have done it, but there's no turning back now. I guess you could call it brainwashing on her end, because I'm the one that escaped with her. She's the only thing on her mind, and she's the only thing I can think about. I've given up everything for her, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat. She first appeared in my life about 6 months ago. I bumped into her at school, and we both introduced ourselves. Me as Ryan, and her as Selena. Immediately, I felt some sort of connection with her, one that I'd never felt with anyone before, and that launched my curiosity into overdrive about her. Over the course of the next few weeks, we got to know each other more and more, and I eventually decided to ask her out, and she said yes. I was beyond ecstatic, and the next couple of months after that were filled with us spending time together, and having the time of our lives. But that was when I began to notice a side to her that no one else seemed to notice. She has this way with words, where she can get people to do whatever she wants. She manipulates them to her advantage, and I wish I realized this sooner. But it led us to the predicament we're in now. After about 4 months of going out, something happened that changed everything. Selena had an argument with her family, and things escalated, and they told her they couldn't see me anymore. At least that's what she said. And Selena became furious, and she did something she could never come back from. She ended up taking a knife and butchering her family. And afterwards, she called me over and said she needed my help with something. When I got there and saw the aftermath of what was left of her family, I began to go into shock, and I didn't know what to do. There was blood everywhere, and she herself was covered in her own family's blood. I backed up from her in fear, and that's when she came closer, and then I ended up stumbling and falling back. She came closer, and she put her forehead against mine, and told me that everything was going to be okay, but that we needed to clean this up and leave town as soon as possible. We cleaned all night, wiping up the blood and dumping the bodies in the forest behind the house. We had packed all of our necessities and we were about to hit the road when we heard police sirens. And that's when a cop car pulled up to her house and 2 officers got out and knocked on the door due to a noise disturbance. Selena opened the door and told me to act natural if they came inside. And unfortunately, they did. Once they were inside, they started to look around. I was sitting in her living room with my nerves in overdrive, and they walked past me, and one of them started talking to me. I told them I was her boyfriend, and that we were both in high school. That's when they asked where her parents or other family members were, and we didn't have an answer. They began to grow suspicious, and they asked us to come down to the station, and before I could utter a response, Selena pulled out a gun and shot both of them. Their bodies were just on the floor, riddled with bullet holes, and that's when we had a real problem in our hands. She had murdered her own family, and now 2 cops. I wasn't moving at this point. I mean, she killed them. What was I supposed to do? She told me we had to go now, but I told her no, and she looked at me, and that look she gave me, I didn't know what to do. That was when she walked up to me and kissed me, and I lost all thought. She said that we needed to go now, and that if anyone ever tried to separate us, she would deal with them personally. After this, we took her car and hit the road. We planned to go to Mexico or further down into Central America or somewhere in South America. I know that if I wanted to, I could say she kidnapped me, and I know she's dangerous, but I can't help it. I need to stay with her. She's my everything. Even though she might be insane and a sadistic murdering psychopath, I'll do anything for her. Even if that anything will lead us into the depths of hell itself. 愛してる